The pop-up Carnegie Hall for nerddom. To get a chance to play Hall H is a long-time dream of mine. And even better, I get to be here for Doctor Who. Which is a show that I have loved about as long as I have been able to love shows. We'll get to the panel in a second. You'll probably recognize some of them. But first, we thought you might like to take a look at something that would kind of remind you where we are in the Doctor Who universe. And then there was a pause. Hello. Hello, Comic-Con. Having a good time? Hall H, the Doctor, Hall H. Wow. And so this is, am I right, this is your first con in the States, right?
Yeah, it's the first time that we've been here, and it's just been completely overwhelming, you know. It's
good we can start you small and easy.
Yeah, Hall H, and yeah, you guys are fantastic, and you know the levels of enthusiasm and passion, and just even the costumes that we've seen. There was a great Weeping Angel earlier. We've seen loads of Doctors, loads of Amy Ponds, so it's great. Look at all the fezzes and stuff.
So, let's talk about the clip that we just saw from there. You guys all saw those episodes, right? So, Karen, you're Alex Kingston's mom? What the hell?
I know. I never thought that would happen. But yeah, that's pretty cool though, isn't it? My mom's quite excited that she's Alex Kingston's grandmother.
Finally, that's a good one to be able to bring home.
Yeah.
I love you too.
So we went out. You went out on that big reveal. But when did you guys know that was what was going to happen at the break? When did you know in advance? Did you know when she was introduced to the character? When did they tell you?
Miss Gillan.
We had a dummy ending on the actual script. So what happened was we did the read-through, and then after the read-through, Steven Moffat took us outside, me, Matt, and Arthur,
and Darvill,
and then he showed us the real ending. We just started running up and down the corridor.
We're like,
oh my god!
No way, you know.
Only Alex knew.
Yeah, because he told Alex.
She knew all along?
Yeah, she knew all along. So we'd be shooting like every day, and we keep just, you know, kind of going, Alex, tell us, come on, what is it? And she never would.
She wouldn't budge.
No spoilers from River Song.
No spoilers from River Song, I know. And Steven gave her more power. How can you give River Song more power? It's not fair.
Is that kind of what it's like to get a script from Steven or from Toby when you see one that it just like you get it and you go, what the hell? Like is it hard to follow along? Are you excited when you see it? What does it feel like when you know, okay, here's what we're doing this week?
It's like watching an episode. It is, you know, because we're truly all fans of the show, so it's you're as excited as when you watch it on the telly, and particularly with all the twists and turns this year, and you know we've got coming up some real huge cliffhangers that are going to be resolved as well. So it's kind of like being a fan.
Yeah.
Were you fans before you got the parts? I mean, because my sense is that just because of your ages, it actually wasn't on.
It wasn't on
right?
TV, no. Yeah. So we didn't actually watch it growing up. But obviously we knew what it was because everyone knows what it is in the UK.
Yeah.
So, but no, my mum's a big fan though, so I had watched a bit of it.
But you guys, Piers and Beth and Toby, were you fans before you started working on it?
I think Toby and I had done a fair bit of research, haven't we, Toby? We'd spent all of our lives working towards this moment. Yeah, it's true. Little did I know when I was a child I was essentially researching my future job.
It's good when you can professionalize the geekiness.
Yeah, exactly. If I'd known I could probably claim something back on tax now. But it's no. I mean, the thing is, as Matt says, it's the thing about Doctor Who is it's such it's so ingrained in the English consciousness. It's part of the DNA of English society. That is genuinely no overstatement. It's massively important. It's a phenomenon in the UK.
And it's amazing to see it be so well received here as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really exciting for us that it's growing so much in America, and that it's being more widely received and stuff. Really.
What is the fan relationship in the UK versus here? Because like the Christmas specials, get like American Idol numbers, right? 20 million people watch the Christmas specials.
Well, no, it was 12 actually, but
that's like 20.
Yeah. I mean, for England, it's that's quite a figure, yeah. The difference is kind of you guys here, you really commit to the tune. But it's kind of wonderful to be part of a legacy in Doctor Who, isn't it? And to be part of something that has such history and it's remarkable.
It does make us the luckiest people in the world. Just going to work every day, reading Toby's scripts, Steven's scripts. It's just like being in a toy shop every single day, walking out on set and saying hello to the Doctor in the TARDIS. It's just a brilliant job.
And it's not something that ever fades either. When I went up to go onto set when they were filming my last episode, you still, and I actually went I took my kids up with me and we went into the TARDIS, and I was more excited than they were. I mean, it's, there's something about, and as a writer, in a script, writing a scene heading interior TARDIS, for a man of a certain age, there is no greater thrill. So.
When we first got Neil Gaiman's first draft, when the amazing Neil Gaiman sent in his first draft, it said on scene 2, it said interior TARDIS, and then the next line was, "I've been waiting my whole life to write that." That felt amazing. What's actually happening in the scene? But he just had to pause for that moment, and I think that was still in there on the read-through. We couldn't bear to lose that line.
Does being able to regenerate the lead part regenerate that excitement too? And do you think that's part of the secret? You guys were involved with the transition.
I think that's why I think that's why the show has been able to survive for so long, because it can constantly be rebooted and updated. And I think that's definitely one of the reasons why people feel it so special and they love it so much. I mean, for Piers and I, our whole time has been with Matt. He is our Doctor, and I can't imagine anyone else doing it. But yeah, that's crucial to the show.
Film in Los Angeles!
Hell yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah, definitely.
Make that happen.
Anybody will let you. You can crash with these guys. Toby, you were talking about your episode. You have something you can show, yes?
Yes. Yes.
That was lucky.
I believe a good segue. I believe we have a selection of clips from my episode. Yeah, it's the episode's called The God Complex.
And it's which order does it? What's it start?
It's number 11. So number 5. 5.
No, number 4 of the next.
Yeah, 4.
Maths wasn't my strong point, which is why I became a writer, clearly.
What does it take to write a good monster?
I think you have to find bizarrely, you have to find the kind of humanity of it. You have to find, in a way, the sympathy of it. Because I think there's nothing more boring than a kind of straightforward villain who just wants to do evil. Actually, what you have to find is the kind of mitigating factors. You have to find the sympathies and the complexities within the character to make them interesting. I mean, for example, the character of Rosanna in Vampires of Venice, her whole motivation was actually quite arguably benign. She just wanted a very small piece of the earth to save her entire race. So, and that, means that her motivation is complex. and not simple and not just pure evil. And I think that's the secret of it, is so that...
Which is kind of the way the Doctor investigates as well, isn't it? He never approaches a monster with the intention of killing it. He wants to know what it is and why, and he's excited by what its motivation is.
Because in a way, I mean, the Doctor Who is essentially a detective story every week, and they arrive, there is a problem, there is something going on. He then has to find out what has led them to this point, and so understanding the kind of the intention and is a big part of that sort of investigative process.
Presumably, though, in the coming episodes, we maybe get some resolution to the whole astronaut kills the Doctor. Seems like an issue that could come up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I imagine they'll probably address that at some point. I genuinely don't know, because the thing is, the one downside of working on Doctor Who is that you inevitably learn a lot of stuff that's going to happen. I knew months in advance, probably before Matt and Karen, who Riversong was. Because there's a specific line in the God Complex that I needed to know that information to write this line. And it's the one kind of thing is that because I want to be watching it like you guys. I want to be watching it with my kids and enjoying it. So I deliberately don't know how the series ends, because I love the show as a viewer as well as a contributor to it.
The brilliance of Steven is that he will tell you the things that you need to know, but he takes so much pleasure in holding back. And
yeah, he's really mean like that, man, I've got to say.
The amount of times he's told us, a desert in Utah, brilliant, go and get that location, take your cameras out there, take your cast, and then we get the pages and go, oh my God, what's he done? This is not... He just loves curveballs, and actually we love them too, because it means we're constantly surprised.
Well then, so Matt, when do we get to see new ones?
Well, actually, I think the next episode airs the 27th of August on BBC America. 9/8 Central, yeah. I think that's right. 9/8 Central, that's right, yeah.
Time zone thing.
Yeah, thank you very much, lady in the front row.
They don't have Central where you guys come from.
No, just Greenwich Mean Time, I think it is. I have no clue what I'm talking about. But and are we showing things?
Yeah, what I want to do there, I suspect there may be some questions at some point.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Can we show? Let's show a little clip of what maybe is coming up a little.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what's going to happen. Oh wow! Look at that.
Holy. Dude, you're in trouble.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Nick of San Diego, Mars Middle School.
Hello, Nick.
I've been a big fan for quite a while, and I do have a question, but I think he would like to ask it.
That seems intimate.
The question is as follows. Failure to respond will result in extermination. Next season.
Okay, okay. So Nick, what?
I think his question is, will any of his kind be featured in the new season?
Oh, more Daleks. If we're going to see more Daleks coming up.
There's only really one word that could answer that question, and that is spoilers.
Yeah, I'm sure that we can organise that somehow. Yeah,
we'll figure out how to get that going.
Dalek for you.
First off, congratulations on having the most fantastic show on the planet Earth. My question is, Doctor Who reaches so much further than television. There's books, radio, And then this last week, a band called Chameleon Circuit charted on the Billboard. With an album Still Got Legs. It's nothing but Doctor Who songs. What do you guys feel about that kind of phenomena around the show?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the phenomenon around the show. So sorry, could you just tell me what the Chameleon Circuit did? Sorry, because I'm
sure.
aware of that.
Charlie McConnell, who gave you Charlie the Badger, I don't know.
Charlie. Yeah. Oh wow, he's a cool guy, man. I love him. Yeah.
And they released an album a couple of weeks ago, the Chameleon Circuit, and it ranked number 4 on iTunes.
There's that great song he does about the Big Bang, isn't there? It's brilliant. Oh yeah, I mean,
That's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great, and it's kind of remarkable that Who reaches so far and wide, and I mean, people like him, like he's getting like 1 million hits, isn't he, on YouTube and stuff? It's Charlie's a big hit, man, and I think we're lucky to have someone like him championing our show and spreading the Who word, man, for sure.
Y'all gonna do Karen and the Babes?
Yeah, Karen and the Babes, right?
Next year.
Hello. Your Russian fandom sends their love. Really wish Starless could land in Russia more often. My question is, you guys are clearly fearless. Is there anything that will scare you as an actor on the set? I heard John Barrowman might return, and he's also been able to kiss the daughter, so does it scare you? I mean, what does?
Do you know, Matt's taken to hiding in my trailer, and there's a little bedroom area, and he hides there with a massive shoehorn and jumps out at me whenever I go in there. Yeah, shouting at me.
And she goes mental.
Like I slid down the wall, almost crying / laughing. So that genuinely scares me. You scare me.
So it's that kind of set then?
Yeah, it's a playful set, and kind of me and Karen Arthur are great friends, and it's you kind of have to turn into a family on that show because you spend so much time together. So we're very lucky to have the support.
It's a bit isolated where you're shooting too, right?
Yeah, we shoot in Cardiff, which is it's not London. I love that Cardiff gets a whoop.
Yeah.
You guys have never been, but it rains a lot.
This question is for Toby. Around 1983, there was the 5 Doctor special. Is there going to be another one for the series?
You'd have to ask Steven that, but yeah, why not? Come, let's bring them all back. Yeah, okay, we're gonna make that happen. Yeah.
Somewhere I think I hear Steven Moffat screaming.
He would be screaming with ecstasy. He would be great.
This place is crawling with Daleks.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
We get that a lot with Daleks.
Systems restoring. Doctor, I have a question, but first I will exterminate the panel. Will the Doctor's daughter be coming back so I can
Could you hear that? Will the Doctor's daughter be coming back?
Will the Doctor's daughter be coming back? Here's Beth.
We've just had the Doctor's wife. I think she's.
Yeah, there are wives. Now listen, the Dalek's taking his hat off. That just come on now. Nice, dude.
You know, that effect is actually better than the original ones from the old show.
Who knows? Again, that's a Steven Moffat question. He's the man that decides who's in and who's out, So you never know. I think the door is always open.
Did she die at the end of that? No, Russell left her open.
No, she survived. And then she married the Doctor.
Which is weird.
Matt, you are amazing, and Karen, you are my ultimate Ginge.
Yay!
So So my question is, one of my favorite characters was the Dream Lord. I thought that episode was just amazing. He's a very interesting character, you know, got the dark side of you. So, will we see him again?
Well, I mean, he's one of my favourite actors, Toby. You know, he's just incredible. I'd love to get him back.
Yeah, he should come back.
Yeah, it would be wonderful if he could. With a bigger army, I'd love to see him with a real big, huge army behind him. And I think the idea of the Doctor's alter ego really presenting the Doctor a problem is such an interesting one. Because actually, I mean, I was talking to someone about it earlier, and if you look at the blood on the Doctor's hands, you know, over the ages, there is so much. He's got so much guilt and death, actually, that he must have to manage every day. So, I think it's a really interesting concept. I'd love to see him back. Yeah.
Can I ask just a more mechanical question? Last night, weren't you guys at the Nerdist podcast last night? So Will Wheaton was there, and Will was talking about driving the Enterprise, and he said he was talking about the buttons and how he sort of knew how the Enterprise worked. And he asked you if you felt the same way, if you had the same thing about the TARDIS control board. And I want to know more. Like, do you know what all the switches do?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you believe when I turned up on my first day, they gave me a manual.
They gave me a manual. Sell the manual.
Yeah. I mean, and like you've seen it, right? And so I taught Karen how to fly it. We spend hours just fiddling around. But if you look at the if you look at the takes and stuff, I'm taking off and landing, it's always the same thing. I do the gear there, I clink back the big lever with the lights, and then zip the handbrake. And then there's a lab, and there's a navigation system where he types in where he's going to go and stuff. So yeah, the TARDIS just never gets boring. Ever.
No. Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Of course. And my question is for Matt and Karen. My question for you guys is, what is your favorite alien race?
Kaz.
Favorite alien race? I really like the Sisters of Plenitude. You know, the cats. The nurse cats. I think they're actually quite nice.
Yeah. I'm into the Sisters of Plenitude, absolutely. I like the angels are my favourite, the Weeping Angels. I'd say them.
Yeah.
In the same vein, can I ask, just to go down the line, if you take Matt out of the equation, who your favorite Doctors have been?
Well, that's a pretty tough question. Well, I think beside Matt, Tom Baker for me, because he was my first Doctor.
I really struggled to take Matt out of the line, but I would second.
I'm just trying to be fair.
Tom Baker, yeah.
I'd say. I genuinely would say Matt, and then after that, I guess either Tom Baker or David Tennant.
I like Chris Eccleston.
I like Troughton and Baker. I mean, it's so hard, isn't it? Because, you know, what's so wonderful about this show is that everyone has their Doctor. And so hopefully in like 20 years' time, there'll be 5-year-olds going, and they'll be 25 going, yeah, Matt Smith was my Doctor, and Amy Pond's was the companion and stuff. And oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet. That's the beauty of the show, I think.
No love for Sylvester McCoy, but okay. I like Sylvester McCoy. Please.
Go you!
First of all, thank you all for the last 2 years. It has been amazing storytelling. My question is, given that you're coming up on the 50th anniversary, and particularly, I mean, you're at the home of genre and the tribe of geek. Do you ever consider the fact that you are contributing to modern myth making?
Piers, Beth?
No, we don't, because if we did, we'd be a bunch of arses, really, wouldn't we? But we do take Doctor Who incredibly seriously, and it is all of our lives, and we just want to make it brilliant because of the love, our own love of it, but also the love of all of you lot, because, I mean, who wouldn't want to when it's appreciated this much? So thank you very much for getting us to work every day.
have to say that writing good television is incredibly exhausting and hard and time-consuming and disappointing, but it's something that we love, and I think I speak for all. We genuinely love this show, and so it's and our passion and love and enthusiasm for the show. It's very difficult because sometimes you feel as if you're slightly in a vacuum. And so coming to events like this and realising that the audience feel just as enthusiastic and passionate about it as we do is wonderful. And it's wonderful to kind of get all of that energy that we put out, to suddenly get that back is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's why we come to events like this, because it's just lovely to get, to feel that enthusiasm, and it just reminds us as why we're doing it.
Thank you.
This question is for anyone that can answer it out there. I was wondering if the Doctor can or will regenerate into a woman.
That's awesome.
I'm going to throw that to the boss. So, boss.
We don't know who the boss is. Make a decision.
It's you.
Suddenly everyone runs from responsibility.
I think that's possible, but I think it's always led by the actor or actress that is right at the time. And I think every time the Doctor regenerates, of course, having a woman will always cross whoever's making the show their minds. But it
could be
be based on
never know.
I also think that a lot of what River does. I mean, could there ever be a female time traveller to match her in terms of kind of kick-ass, alien fighting brilliance? And a little bit of me thinks that maybe she's stolen the thunder of a female Doctor.
Perhaps, yeah.
It's good thunder.
Good thunder.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I love all of you. You're amazing. My question is for Matt. I've seen you at a couple panels this weekend, and I was wondering, after watching you being interviewed, I was wondering how much of yourself you put in the character of the Doctor, and how much of the Doctor maybe kind of rubs off on you.
Good question. Well, God,
I think we should answer that, actually. I think we're much better placed to answer that one. I mean, Matt is the Doctor. What you see on screen is pretty bloody close to how he is on real life, apart from he's maybe a bit less competent in real life. A bit clumsier. But
I'm not as cool as the Doctor. I'm nowhere near.
Steven, one of Steven's favourite things to say, kind of after his kind of fourth glass of wine of the night, is he just is the Doctor. He just is.
Yeah.
The way that Steven has, the way the character has evolved over the last two series, Steven writes for Matt. Steven visualises Matt and can imagine Matt saying it, and he knows what Matt will make funny. So the two kind of come together very organically.
Yeah. It's just I wish I was as cool as him. He's
never going to happen, man.
Never going to happen. It's just kind of it's like Amy Pond's way cooler than Karen. It's true. It's true.
No, it's definitely true.
Yeah. And it's what's wonderful is kind of getting to spend time. Because as an actor, that's what you do. You spend time with the character in quite a sort of interesting way, and to do it with a man like him, he's such a benchmark for everything, for how to live your life. He's such a maverick, and he always makes choices independently for himself. And
I think Matt's a modest guy, but he's the first Doctor to be nominated for a BAFTA for the role, which I think just goes as a kind of testimony to what a brilliant job he did of coming in and redefining a role which had been so brilliantly defined by his predecessor. And it was such a huge burden for him and for all of us, when he came into the role in the 11th hour. But I'll never forget the night after that episode, the morning after that episode had transmitted, and reading in the papers how well received he'd been, and just feeling so proud of him. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy, and we're all so lucky to work with him.
Can you talk a little bit about what the selection and audition process was like? What was it like? Now you evolved into it, and Steven's work has evolved writing for you with the other writers as well. But how did you, when you first got there, what was it like?
Well, it's kind of, everything's top secret, so you get the script 2 days before. Well, no, a day before actually. So you only get a day to sort of look at it and learn it, and you go in and you do your thing. And weirdly, when David was leaving, my mum texted me saying, "You should be the next Doctor," and I thought, you know, all right, Mum.
My mom sent me that text too.
And then you go in and you do your thing, and you kind of think nothing of it, and then there's another one, and you go back and there's a couple more people there, and then I'll never forget when I got the call, and you know, they said they'd like to offer you the part, and I was in Aldgate. I'd just come out of an audition, and I was on a cobbled street, and it's a real game changer. It's a real life-changing thing to sort of take on, because it's Doctor Who, you know, and yeah, it was remarkable.
It was the easiest casting decision that any of us had ever been involved in, because it was just so bloody obvious from the moment that he walked into the room. It wasn't, you know, quite often when you're casting a big important part, it can become very heated, and everyone can have their own agendas and their own kind of opinions, and you know, some people are like one actor, some people are like another, but it was just really simple. It was, I remember Saturday afternoon, I think the day after we'd met Matt for the second time, and Steven just sent me an email that just said, "It's him, let's face it, it's always been him."
Just to add to that, the same is true of Karen.
Yeah.
We watched these auditions on a tape, and then, you know, a number of really amazing actresses came in. I'm quite smug about this, because early in the day, Piers came up to me and went, "Oh God, we've seen all these brilliant people, but I just don't think we found her. You know, what are we going to do?" And I said, "Don't worry. Her name's Karen Gillan. She's coming in at the end of the day. I'm absolutely convinced it's her." And she walked in this red coat, and she looked amazing, and she was so funny, and she was so good at it. And she walked out the room, and Steven Moffat just jumped up in the air and went, "We found her." And it was a really special moment for all of us.
Yeah. Sorry to keep you waiting. Go ahead.
Hi, my question's for Matt and Karen. I really look up to you guys as actors, and I was wondering if you had any acting advice for someone who's just starting theater school like myself.
Oh. Attend. That's always good. And then, I guess, do your training, soak up everything you can, and then
read as many plays as you can.
yeah,
Read.
see as much as you can.
See as much theatre as you can, and I think, you know, I think so much of acting is linked to courage, and about how you summon your courage, and yeah, you know, that's a really interesting thing. Be brave. Bravery is a word. Make brave choices creatively. I mean, everyone has their own path, don't they? So
yeah,
I guess you got to find that. But yeah, you'll figure it out for sure. It's a good luck. Good luck with it.
Hello, my name is Melody Williams. And
yeah, cool.
Thank you very much for that. My question is about the science behind the show for the director and the writer. Do you do much research? If so, who do you consult?
Yes.
Did you check out Sexy Vampire
Yes.
films before doing vampire?
Yeah, that's the kind of level of research. A childhood spent watching Hammer horror films, as opposed to looking. If I understood science, again, I doubt if I'd have become a writer. I mean, in a way, Steven came up with spacey, waisty, timey, wimey. That is a kind of great cover-all thing, because I certainly don't know what I'm talking about in science-wise. But no, the research is different things. I mean, for the God Complex, I did a lot of research into Greek mythology. For reasons that will become apparent when you see it. And so it tends to be that kind of thing as opposed to the science stuff. The science stuff you kind of tend to explain by a weird, made-up thing. But otherwise, yeah, you research the kind of tone, in a way, of the show more than the actual science specifics, I think.
Hi. I Karen, thank you for the burrito last night.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
It was fantastic.
Oh, good.
They handed out.
And my question is
I'll just explain though. They handed out burritos after the Nerdist podcast to people who were there, and Hardwick said to make sure to say thanks to you guys. He said he forgot to. So.
Oh yeah, Chris Hardwick, what a cool guy he is.
Yeah.
Matt, when you read the bit about the Fez, did that just seem like a funny line at the time, or did you have any idea that it would be this huge thing sweeping fandom?
Fezes are sweeping fandom?
I think so.
Oh, fandom.
No, that's kind of one of those things that you have no idea about. I mean, all sort of testament to Steven Moffat really for having the ingenuity to be very clever, and it's actually him that makes Fezes cool. But what's groovy about all that is that's just me bleating on to him about wanting to wear a hat. So he gave me the most stupid hat. And he reinvented it.
Isn't it? It's only on screen for a really short period of time.
Yeah, because River blows it up.
Yeah, so it's really caught on, you know.
Oh, that annoyed me. I was like, whoa, Fez! And then River blows it up. And damn him. But now it's all about the Stetson. You wait, Stetson.
And bow ties?
Bow ties are cool.
I mean, of course, to be fair, Matt kind of, talking about how much Matt is like the Doctor, when we were looking for the costume, which, was a huge decision, Matt pulled the tweed jacket out of his bag and said, I think I should wear this. And then he pulled the bow tie out of his bag and we all went, no!
You did.
And then I went
went away, didn't you?
I went out
You
there
went
for
away.
a few minutes and came back and everyone was looking a bit anxious saying, show Beth, do it again, Matt. And he put the bow tie on and it just clicked. And that was Matt. He came up with it all. So if he thinks a hat's going to work, it's worth trying.
Yeah. I'll remind you of that. Hello.
My name's Lex. I'd like to ask, why did you make the sound of the TARDIS something like...
Good TARDIS sound, man.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, why?
Well, there's a reference to that in one of your early episodes, isn't there? Where you say you like that sound, and River says it's not supposed to.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's. That came long before our tenure, but Steven reinvented it in quite a funny way. That actually the Doctor's flying it wrong, and he's leaving the brakes on, and River comes in, and that's when it's sort of screeching to a halt, and so that's why it makes that sound, because brakes one, but then also it still makes that sound. So
it can never change.
Yeah. That's a question for a Doctor of old, I think. That's a good question. I'm going to find that out, actually. Stephen would have a good answer to that, I'm sure.
It is part of that really compelling just iconography all around the show, just the blue box, the sound it makes, the sort of things that you can go back to as touchstones that end up having so much resonance after all this time.
I think basically all of that, the theme tune, the design of the Daleks, the design of the choice of the blue box is just a testimony to just the amazing people that worked on it in that first series in 1963.
Because it holds.
Proper visionary people.
Yeah, I mean that holds together. Like just BBC Radiophonic Workshop doing weird electronic music, and it's supposedly the most popular television tune of all time or something.
I mean it's certainly up there. It's brilliant. The theme tune's
and for
brilliant.
its time as well.
Yeah.
In the 60s, that was so creative.
Hey.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
I was just wondering from everybody, why do you keep killing Rory?
Wow, that's a good question. Poor old Arthur can't be here today. He's working, which is
he's at the Globe, though.
a shame. Why do we keep killing Rory?
He's kind of the Kenny of
He
the
dies
show.
really well.
You bastards, you killed.
Yeah, I mean, but we keep getting him back.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
And he learns a lot every time he dies.
Oh yeah.
And now,
he was the guy that waited. Amy couldn't not marry him after he waited 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Hello, Doctor.
Hello. I just wanted to say, I actually wear bow ties in real life, and they really are cool.
Yeah.
And so my question is for Matt and Karen. Throughout the show, or at least this last season, you had secrets for your characters that you actually had in real life as actors. And I was just curious, how does that affect your process?
I think it really helps.
Yeah.
To keep, if the characters are keeping things from each other, then it helps to actually not discuss them in real life. But my secret, I've still got. You still don't know it.
I know, there's something, Steven's told Karen something about, we can't even say what it is, but...
It's so good!
What is it? Well, she told me what it's about. I can't even say, because it's really exciting. But she hasn't told me the thing that it is, and she won't tell me.
Powerful right now.
I try and get
This never happens.
But it's, that was really interesting because Alex, as River knew, and there was something interesting and frustrating about it. It's which is good because that's what I think the Doctor always wants to know the most, and always does generally know the most.
Yeah.
So it was interesting from Steven, and I hope it translated onto the screen. Good question. Hey, River.
Hello, sweetie.
I love it.
All right, I have a question. I love the props and sets you guys use on the show, but how many sonic screwdrivers or props in general have you broken?
Me? Oh, a lot. Yeah, it's a daily process. Phil, the props guy, who's worth his weight in solid gold, he's a wonderful man, and he does a fantastic job. And actually, I kind of just have to pay credit to the crew and everyone who works on Doctor Who because they're really there's this great box, isn't there? The sonic box.
Yeah, there's loads of sonics in it.
And there's 5 sonic screwdrivers in it. And I break one a day, generally. Because I'm always flying around, I'm really clumsy. So a lot, sadly. And the TARDIS, there's always bits of it coming off in my hands and stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Karen. Hello. So, I was wondering for all of you guys, if you could cross over Doctor Who with any show except for Torchwood, what would it be?
True Blood. Yeah, for me, True Blood.
Star Trek Next Generation. I met Brent Spiner the other day. Data. Oh, it was so embarrassing. I got a picture with him and everything.
I think it's last night you told Will Wheaton how excited you were to meet Brent Spiner.
He was out. You really felt for Will watching it from the audience when you did that to him, actually.
I think it would be kind of cool. Like I hear that the Big Bang Theory keep referencing Doctor Who. It would be quite cool if we just popped up in a shop or something.
Hi. My question is about the future screwdriver. It's how do we get to this screwdriver from what we already have, and also what does the red setting do?
That's River's screwdriver, isn't it? The one you've got there. Yeah, it is. I think it is. It's green and it's got a little. It's got. Hold it up. Yeah, that's River's screwdriver. Which, frankly, the fact she has a screwdriver just annoys me. So I dismiss it as a useless one, and the only one that counts is the Doctor's. But the red setting turns you into an orangutan, so don't. Oh wow! Look at that for a dress! Oh my Lord and Moses!
That's spectacular.
I almost wore that tonight as well. That would have been so embarrassing.
Doctor Who fashion line. I was wondering, how much is River Song based on Bernice Summerfield? Because it's very similar to the Big Finish audio character.
Piers, Beth?
I think that's a tough one for us to answer.
Answer.
I mean, I think Steven would probably be hopping up and down now and saying not at all if he was here, but I can't really answer that for him. Sorry.
Let's do, you guys want to see the clip again, right?
Yeah.
So let's do this. We'll do one more of those. Sorry, and then two more. Okay, two more. All right, you guys are right. So we'll do some more questions, then we'll do the clip.
Okay. All right. Well, my question is for Matt. Well, my question exactly is: will we see more glimpses of the Doctor's dark side, like we saw a little bit in A Good Man Goes to War?
Sorry. Could you repeat the question, sir? I missed that.
Will we have more glimpses of your dark side?
Oh, yes. Well, I hope so, because I mean, as I said earlier, I think there's a lot of blood on the Doctor's hand, and I actually think that's why he's so bright and bubbly and effervescent and mad, because he has to keep going, he has to keep moving, he has to keep travelling, he has to keep saving people, making jokes, because if he didn't, if he stopped, it would all, you know, if he sat down, he'd have to contemplate, you know, losing the Roses, losing, you know, the Sarah Janes, you know, kind of losing all these people and letting them go. I think that's a very interesting area for him to explore, and I know that Steven is interested in it too, so I think there'll be a lot more.
I think in episode 10 we see a bit of the dark side.
Yeah, I think we see some of that in the next series.
Actually we really do.
Rule number 1, the Doctor lies. That's going to be explored.
Yeah.
I really loved the Neil Gaiman episode. I thought it was a great idea to have him come in. And if you guys could choose any guest writer to write an episode for Doctor Who would you choose?
Edgar Wright. Who did you say?
No, I just said it was a great question.
Oh yeah, it's a great question. Oh, sorry.
If I get to choose, I can come up.
Go on. I choose J.J. Abrams. Edgar Wright. I'd love Edgar Wright.
Roald Dahl.
Toads.
Do they have to be? Do they have to be living?
No, time travel.
I'd like Roald Dahl to do an episode. That would be strange and bizarre.
You can't chump that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Piers, come on.
I think this sounds like a bit of a cop out, but I'd love to see Russell come back and do an episode one day. I think he's an amazing writer, and I'd love to see him come back and write for the 11th Doctor sometime.
Yeah. And just quickly before we finish, could I know you've whooped and nodded your hearts out, and I thank you for that. But Piers and Beth are moving on to new pastures, and I wondered if we could just give them, because they've been wonderful for me and Karen, just give them a group woohoo before they go.
Let's see it again, yeah?